We would like to kindly ask you to join your seats. We would like to inform you as well that interpretation is available, Arabic, English, French, and you can scan the QR code on your badges to check the agenda. And this meeting is streamed online on YouTube. We would like also to ask you to put your phones on silent. Thank you very much.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسعدنا.
In the name of Allah, it is our pleasure to welcome you to the annual meeting of the ISDB, this key momentous event organized by the ISDB group and the ITFC and ISAC, the Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector, and the Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC, supported by the Fiqh Forum and the partnership and participation of Algerian government bodies and representatives of the private sector in Algeria and all member states. This meeting sheds light on the activities of the ISDB group and the services it provides in the member states, specifically Algeria, the host country for this annual meeting. And the aim of this meeting is to incentivize investments and to create an environment for cooperation between the private and public sectors and to build strategic partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, the program of this meeting has several vital activities, key of which signing of a memorandum of understanding in the field of investment and trade and risk management, the launch of a platform for B2B and B2G to promote to strengthen opportunities for partnership and cooperation spaces specific to meetings between the three institutions, ISAC, ITFC, and the Fiqh Forum to facilitate interaction between participants. And there's also an exhibit of the activities of institutions from the member states with the participation of the biggest Algerian companies, largest companies, and we have also officials and executive officers and investors and representatives of chambers of commerce and financial institutions, international and regional. And we would like to announce as well that we shall give awards to companies of excellence in the fields of investment, trade, and insurance, as well as a competition for startups. This meeting will witness the participation of experts in development and private sector investments, and it is our hope that this meeting will be successful and will be beneficial for all participants. We would like to kindly ask you to follow with us a short video reflecting the roles and activities of the ISDB group and its institutions.
For countries to develop their economies, achieve sustainable development goals, and create new jobs, they need to have access to finance and be able to mitigate political and commercial risks. In line with the emerging needs of the private sector in its members' countries, the Islamic Development Bank Group, ISDB Group, created 3 dedicated business arms. Working with ISDB Group entities, private sector and SME clients get access to needed resources and support their own growth, which includes Islamic trade finance solutions, project investment, and Islamic insurance against business risk. Attracting investments and exports is vital to a thriving economy. The Islamic Cooperation for the Insurance of Investment and Export Credit, ISIC, helps OIC member countries achieve this goal through the provision of its insurance and reassurance solutions. These Sharia-compliant solutions enlarge the scope of cross-border trade and enable foreign investment by giving you confidence to enter new markets in a risk-mitigated manner. Our solutions can help unlock transactions, facilitating foreign investment while making your business more competitive. The Islamic Cooperation for the Development of the Private Sector, ICD, is mandated to support the private sector in its member countries. ICD builds partnerships to establish collective financing. ICD focuses its financing on development projects that aim to create job opportunities, encourage exports, and boost the economic growth of its member countries. In addition, ICD extends lines of finance to support small and medium enterprises, which drive the country's economic development. Briefly, ICD's solutions will help your business achieve its ambitions. We founded the International Islamic Trade Finance Cooperation, ITFC, to catalyze trade. By enhancing intra-OIC trade, we contribute to the growth of imports and exports in our member countries to strengthen their economies. Integrated trade solutions, including trade finance and trade development programs, enables our member countries and private sector clients to access various trade solutions and benefit from cross-border trade activities. ISDB Group entities partner with different private and public stakeholders. These partnerships play a crucial role in enhancing resilience to address common challenges, achieve shared goals, fostering collaboration, leverage resources, and create new solutions. Building resilience through multi-sector partnerships can strengthen communities' capacity to withstand and recover from shocks, promoting long-term sustainability and well-being. Together, our organizations address every challenge your business faces through a comprehensive partnership formula. ICD finances your projects. ITFC finances and boosts your trade deals. ISIC ensures your investment and export transactions. And ISDB's Group Business Forum, THICA, promotes synergy among ISDB Group member countries. The result is a perfect ecosystem for your business to grow.
سيداتي وسادتي.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor now to call His Excellency the Ministry of Finance and the Head of Banks, President Dr. Abdelkarim Bouzank, to deliver his remarks. Sir, you have the floor. In the name of Allah, most merciful, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Your Excellency, the Executive Director of the ISDB, distinguished guests, peace be upon you. It is with great pleasure that I welcome the guests of Algeria, specifically the financial experts and officials from the Arab and Islamic worlds. It is with great honor as well to share with you today with my brother Dr. Mohammed Sulaiman Al-Jazm, the Islamic Development Bank, the chairman of the ISDB, this opening session of of this forum, which has become a promising platform to promote economic development through gathering economic operators to explore paths of partnerships and cooperation. This forum, launched by the ISDB group around 13 years ago, is an appreciated initiative, a key initiative that sheds light on the role played by the private sector in development. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 meeting is exceptional because it has three factors. First, international economic conditions filled with challenges and opportunities to attract investments. This forum is organized on the sidelines of the annual meetings, is a testament of the conviction of the ISDB that countries are leaning towards new investment opportunities to achieve economic diversification and development. Third, this forum, which is being held in Algeria as a country that holds huge developmental potential and key geographic position, and adopts an exceptional approach in support of the private sector and entrepreneurship and the spirit of initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, opening this forum is or reflects the common will between the group and Algeria to strengthen partnerships and supporting the private sector and promoting initiatives in support of Algerian startups and goods. And we value here the partnership and the contribution of the ISDB group, and we look forward to take advantage and to learn from their experiences in developing the private sector through reviewing successful models and experiences that contributed in paradigm shifts in similar environments to the Algerian context. The Algerian government accords paramount importance to to diversifying its economy and promoting a developmental dynamic, and under the supervision and the auspices of the President of the Republic, to build a producing and a productive economy and an active participant in the international value chain. The business environment in Algeria has gone through a series of improvements through legislative and administrative amendments initiated by the government. These achievements wouldn't have been achieved without a strong political will standing behind it and a commitment of the state to create a transparent investment environment and promoting PPPs. Ladies and gentlemen, I reiterate here the importance of the private sector as a drive of the economic development, and we call upon all economic operators to take advantage of the available opportunities and contribute in building a strong economy and a sustainable one as well. In conclusion, we reiterate our commitment to improving the business environment here in Algeria and providing appropriate conditions to attract investments and achieve comprehensive and sustainable development. It is my hope that you will find what you seek in this forum and build fruitful partnerships. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and peace be upon you all.
شكرا.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Nigerian Minister of Finance and the chair of the banking group, the Islamic banking groups for this year. We call upon His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Al-Jasser to deliver his opening remarks. Sir, you have the floor with our thanks. In the name of Allah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and peace be upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and his followers. And Your Excellencies, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to the 13th edition of the ISDB Group Private Sector Forum, which we are holding today on the sidelines of our annual meetings under a deeply meaningful theme: diversifying economies, enriching lives. This forum is not just an annual event. It is a renewed and renewable strategic platform that showcases the innovative tools and services offered by the ISDB Group institutions in support of investment and trade, and the expansion of partnerships within our member countries, including the beloved Democratic Republic of Algeria. This session represents a unique opportunity for investors, businessmen, and CEOs from member states to open channels for communication, partnerships, and building business relations with their peers and counterparts in the Republic of Algeria. We at the ISDB Group attach great importance to encouraging inter-investment, facilitating capital mobility, and promoting shared growth through financing, insurance, export credit, and all the other instruments available at our disposal, with a clear objective set in mind: empowering the private sector to be a true engine of sustainable development. In this framework, the Islamic Corporation for the Insurance of Investment and Export Credit, ISAC, the group's insurance arm, has continued to play a pivotal role in providing innovative and Sharia-compliant insurance solutions to mitigate the risks associated with trade and investment in our countries. Since its establishment in 1994, the ISAC has provided insurance coverage in excess of 121 billion USD, catalyzing strategic investments in the fields of energy, infrastructure, industry, healthcare, agriculture, among others. The Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector, ICD, has financed50 since its inception in 1999 in excess of 575 projects in 50 countries, totaling more than 7.5 billion USD across key sectors such as finance, energy, manufacturing, and agriculture. The ICD continues to provide vital support to small and medium enterprises as a key driver for growth and job creation. In the same vein, since its inception in 2008, the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC, has provided more than 83 billion USD in financing, and it has accorded particular attention to supporting the private sector, specifically SMEs, for which it has allocated 1.2 billion USD in 2024 alone. It also continues to promote intra-trade and create real, tangible opportunities for economic integration among our member states. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, believing in the importance of promoting investment opportunities in our member states, we at the ISDB Group established in 2009 the Thika Business Forum, which has become a networking platform for entrepreneurs and an effective initiative to support trade and investment relations. The forum has organized more than 400 events, including 70 investment conferences. It has also facilitated numerous agreements and explored investment and trade opportunities in member countries through signing memoranda of understanding with members of commerce and investment promotion agencies. It has also made available through its online portal valuable investment opportunities for investments and investors from different member countries. In conclusion, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude and appreciation to each and every one of you for your gracious participation and presence, and I assure you that the ISDB Group will follow with great interest the outcomes of this important forum and will be keen to translate its recommendations into concrete programs and initiatives and implementable initiatives enhancing trade integration, accelerating the pace of intra-investment, and establishing developmental and strategic partnerships amongst our member states. I would like also to extend my thanks to the government and people of Algeria for graciously hosting this forum and these meetings, praying to Allah Almighty for success in our common endeavor towards sustainable, inclusive and prosperous development.
شكرا لمعالي.
I would like to thank Dr. Mohammed Al-Jasser, Chairman of ISDB, for this opening remarks where you have
الاستثمارية التي تتيحها البلدان الأعضاء. نرحب بكم أيها السيدات والسادة مرة أخرى، والآن ننتقل لجلسة الرؤساء التنفيذيين، كما أدعو محاورة الجلسة الإعلامية لمياء عشوش بأن تتقدم نحو المنصة لتقديم المتحدثين الكرام وبدء هذه الجلسة الأولى.
Minister of Finance, Chairman of the Islamic Development Group, distinguished guests, esteemed CEOs, and participants, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lamia Ashoush, and it is my absolute honor to be with you this morning in beautiful Algiers to welcome you to this important panel discussion at the Islamic Development Bank Group Private Investment or Private Sector Forum, 2025. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today's session is dedicated to a theme that is both timely and critical, that is boosting intra-OIC trade and investment, how to overcome barriers and seize opportunities. Now, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the OIC, represents a diverse community that holds tremendous untapped potential, and to strengthen intra-OIC trade and investment would be indeed of strategic imperative. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today's session I will be gathering key voices and strategic thinkers, and will explore what is working, what must change, and how we can all collectively accelerate progress for better intra-OIC cooperation. Now, please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the stage my esteemed panelists, starting with Dr. Khalid Khalafallah, the CEO of the Islamic Corporation for the Insurance of Investment and Export Credit, ISEC. He is also acting CEO of the Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector, ICD. Dr. Khalid Khalafallah, please join me on stage. Marhaban. Please take a seat at the edge of the panel. Thank you. All right, moving swiftly along, I'm also honored to welcome to the stage Engineer Adib Al-A'ma. He is the CEO of the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC. Under your applause. Engineer Adib, join me on stage. Welcome, marhaba. Go right ahead. Oops. Okay. Next, we have Dr. Omar Rakash. He is the Director General of the Algerian Agency for Investment Promotion, commonly known as API. Dr. Rakash, please join me on stage. مرحبا دكتور ركاش. تفضل معنا. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to also welcome to the stage Mr. Ismail Al-Shahin. He is the CEO of the World Association of Investment Promotion Agencies, WIPA. Dr. Al-Shahin, marhaba. Faddal. Welcome. All right. So, this is my esteemed panel, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we delve into today's discussion, I would like to give my panelists a brief introduction to the topic before we start talking about the specifics. And starting with you, Dr. Khalid Khalafallah, CEO of ISEC, could you talk to us a little bit more about ISEC's role in risk mitigation and unlocking trade and investment in high-risk OIC markets? Yes, can you?
Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's our pleasure to open the Private Sector Forum at this session. As indicated earlier in the speech of His Excellency the President, ISEC was established with a clear mandate to support and facilitate trade and investment of our member countries. Since 1994, we have insured almost $121 billion. Almost half of this is for intra-OIC. 57 billion was for intra-OIC. 96 billion of 121 was done for trade, and about 25 billion was for investment insurance. Now, international banks will be reluctant to go to what is perceived as high-risk transaction or high-risk countries, depending on their ratings. And that's why ISEC, with its AA ratings, come as a credit wrap and credit facilitator to ensure that those investments will come, will remain in the country, and will continue to support the development of our member countries. We are proud that we continue to do so, and will continue to support key sectors, including infrastructure, energy, education, and more importantly, job creation, sectors such as agriculture.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Khalid. Now, going to you, Engineer Adib Al-A'ma, could you talk to us a little bit about the ITFC's efforts to bridge the trade finance gap and promote intra-OIC trade? I think your mic is working. Yes, you can go ahead.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم and السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. In the presence of their excellencies to participate in this distinguished panel on a very important and critical.
Perfect.
Is that better?
Yes.
On a very important and critical subject, which is boosting intra-OIC trade and investment. And if we look at what we are set out to do today and throughout this forum, I think it's very important to collectively identify the main barriers that we have to both trade and investment, and then work on, it might not be realistic to try to eliminate them altogether, but working on reducing them, and where possible, better still, transforming them into opportunities for our member countries. So this is what we're set out to do. This is at the heart and core of the IITFC mandate, which is to promote intra-OIC trade. So hopefully today, I will come to the numbers later. Mashallah, Brother Khalid has started with the numbers. We were discussing this yesterday. He said, my team gave me a lot of talk and no numbers. And I said, my team gave me a lot of numbers and no talk. So I think by the end of the day, inshallah, we will give you a good picture. But, you know, this is a very important subject, not just for our member countries, but particularly for the private sector. And within the private sector, the most vulnerable group with problems or, let's say, barriers to access to trade are the SMEs. So thank you for the choice.
Indeed.
I think it's a very good choice.
Indeed, Engineer Adib, thank you very much. Now, I'd like to go back to you, Dr. Khalid Khalafallah, as your position as acting CEO of the ICD. Now, what is the ICD role in private sector development and innovative financing tools? Could you talk to us briefly about that?
Well, thank you. I think ICD, as by the name, our key mandate is to support the development private sector. That comes in two aspects. The financing aspect, but more importantly also the advisory service, especially for the SMEs. And we are proud through our history, through our line of finance tool, we have been able to support the SMEs by extending line of finance to local banks in our member countries, sometimes regional banks, and for on lending for the SMEs. Now, SMEs, some of them, they're just established companies, maybe innovative ideas. Commercial banks will be reluctant to give without collaterals, without support. Now, the line of finance we give through our operations help those SMEs to flourish and develop. And we used to have the advisory service as well, which help us in some of member countries to convert conventional banks either to fully Islamic bank or establish Islamic windows. And through Islamic finance tools, you support the real economy. And this is something we are proud that we have been doing and will continue to do through different products, either direct finance or line of finance operations, which ICD continue to do so, inshallah.
Thank you indeed, Dr. Khalid. Now نروح للدكتور عمر ركاش حنتحدث معه باللغة العربية.
I will speak in Arabic. I'll talk to Dr. Omar Rakash. We will talk a little bit about the national strategy of Algeria in attracting investment and strengthening the trade infrastructure and its role in regional and international trade. In the name of Allah, I would like to welcome our distinguished guests, and we are delighted for the opportunity given to us to talk about the reforms Algeria has undertaken in order to improve investment climate. Since beginning of 2020, Algeria has initiated, thanks to the orientations of the President of the Republic, deep reforms in investment in order to have more attractiveness over three pillars. First is to strengthen the legal framework and have the stability of the legal framework, and give maximum guarantees in order to secure protection and secure investments, especially foreign investment, direct foreign investment. Reforms have also put in place a stable institutional system that gives more clarity, more visibility of this or to this system. The reform has focused on an important point, which is to facilitate procedures and the procedures of the investment action through the one-stop shop, through or for especially for the foreign direct investment and big investments. So there is a one-stop shop for that. We also have lifted all the constraints, or what used to be known as constraints for foreign investment, by abrogating the preemption right and the rule 4951 that was seen by foreign investors as a constraint. There were also other procedures that were to clarify the most important point for foreign investors, which is the transfer of profit. Now there is clarity about the mechanisms of profit transfers. Of course, investors would want to take their profit in a smooth way. There is also clarity of objectives that the state would like to achieve, and to harmonize that with the economic strategy and the economic policies of the state. In the same framework of our forum today, I would like to go back.
Arshahin, CEO of VIPA, could you briefly talk to us about global perspective on investment promotion, cross-border collaboration, and also the role of IPAs in facilitating trade and investment flows?
Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here after 20 years in Algeria, and I am really impressed with the country again and again, with the dynamism and the young population. It's really a great pleasure. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. WIPA, maybe I should start with what is WIPA. Maybe not many people might be aware of that. Very shortly. Actually, it's quite good and short. WIPA was created to help countries to better serve sustainable investors. I try to be as quick as possible. This is the unique organization for investment promotion agencies so that they can further improve themselves to better support investors. This is the reason why I'm really excited to be here at this private sector forum, because IPAs are created to support and help private sector. Their idea is to be able to speak the language of the private sector and to be the deal maker, door opener between the government and private sector and the investors. Therefore, they were created to do that. So the collaboration between the investment promotion agency is growing day by day, because we do believe that the attraction of FDI requires collaboration with different institutions. It cannot be done singly only by one institution, by the IPAs. It requires collaboration inside the country with different institutions, ministries, and many other, and also by the different IPAs. Many people are asking me, what would be the idea to collaborate between the IPAs? They should be competing between each other, right? But in fact, what is important is to convince investors, first of all, to step into the continent, maybe afterwards into the region, then to the country. Because every country, every investment requires collaboration, and they require added value from the different sectors. And different incomes are being provided, inputs are being provided from the different countries in the region. So in case the region can be somehow addressing to the investors as one team, I think the outcomes are going to be much, much more successful for any country.
Definitely going to be more successful, Dr. Shaheen. Now, with your permission, let's delve into the discussion a little bit deeper, and I'd like to go back to Dr. Khalid Khalafallah. How is ISAC deploying its credit and political risk insurance tools to unlock opportunities, particularly, Dr. Khalid, in high-risk markets within the OIC region?
Well, thank you. I think for ISAC, we work on two fronts. We work with the international market international banks to unlock opportunities, facilitate flow of financing to our member countries. But more importantly, we work also with the National Export Credit Agency of our member countries by providing two aspects: the reinsurance capacity, because we are AA rated insurer, multilateral, so that also gives comfort for transactions to come to the member countries. Just give you an example. In Algeria here, we work with CAJEX, which is the National Export Agency. And through our collaboration, we have done almost 3.2 billion of trade operations. CAJEX alone will not have a wide network of global financiers or insurers and credit information, which I think is very important. Now, one of the difficulties we have in our at least developed member countries is access to reliable credit information. Now, through ISAC, we provide this service because we had arrangements with a major credit provider globally, and we can facilitate that credit information, which is very key for any trade operations. If you don't know the buyer, the credit worthiness, it will be extremely difficult to do a transaction. Even now, with the global availability of technology, access to information is still a reliable credit information is one of the challenges for export credit operations. Now, the major contribution we do in high risk or perceived high risk, I would say, is our investment insurance operations. Now, many international banks, because of their credit rating consideration, risk management consideration, it will be extremely difficult to delve without having a credit insurance or credit wrap, because that will facilitate for them to have credit relief, capital relief, which is required under Basel agreements. And through this service, we have been able to facilitate flow to countries. I think investors alone will not dare to go without having support. Even in some countries, you have a guarantee from Ministry of Finance. Still, it will be not perceived as a solid guarantee to attract the investor. We have been able to work mostly, I would say, for ISAC in sub-Saharan countries and supporting countries. And in some cases, we have been able to support transactions when countries just came out of a fragile situation, which I think is our key mandate as part of IDB Group to support that capacity and resilience building in our membership.
That is indeed pivotal and very important. And I'd like to bounce back on that and going back to Engineer Adib Al-Ama. As access to finance in Engineer Adib continues to be a key barrier to trade, now how does the ITFC ensure more inclusive access to trade solutions?
Excellent question. Maybe let's give some perspective first of all. We were looking at the statistics and
to the mic? Yes, perfect.
you're not going to change again.
Exactly, just keep it that way. Go ahead, Dr. Engineer Adib.
I wanted to say it's a global problem. If you look at the global shortfall in trade finance, and the latest statistics go back to 2022, and I'm sure we'll get an update soon. The global shortfall is $2.5 trillion. Wow. So it's quite a staggering number.
It is.
But it's important to understand that we cannot solve the big problem, but definitely on the margins we can incrementally alleviate the problem, especially for our member countries. And this is what we have been working on. His Excellency mentioned that since the inception of ITFC in 2008, we have been able to approve $83 billion for our member countries. Out of this financing, 60% has gone to Intra-OIC trade finance. And also 60%, it's not the same 60%, but it just so happens to be that way, 60% we were able to mobilize through financing from global and regional partners. So this is what we're good at, and this is what we do best. We have, and we're very proud, been awarded for several years in a row, the award of top Islamic finance book runner by both Bloomberg and Refinitiv. And this gives us a lot of visibility and credibility. So it's not that it's important in its own right, it's what we can do with it. And with it, we have been able to mobilize these big amounts. If we look maybe more recently, 2024, His Excellency also, the President mentioned the number 1.2 billion. This is how much has been mobilized to the private sector, including the vulnerable SME sector.
Yeah.
This is one side of what we do. Another very important side, and this we have learned from our experience on the ground, it's not enough to just avail the capital. What is really important is building the capacity on the ground.
Indeed.
Building the capacity both in the financial institutions and preparing them to better understand how to assess risk, because SME risk is different than other risk. But also building the capacity in the end users so they can produce their own bankable projects and therefore get the right investment. On building capacity, we provide both training, we provide advisory support, and we provide technical assistance. And with this, you build resilience in these SMEs. So it's not a one-time thing that you give them capital and then they're on their own. They're able to build this resilience, and it creates a sustainable business model.
Tremendous work indeed done by the ITFC. I'd like to go back now to Dr. Khalid Khalafallah, as you're wearing your hat as the acting CEO of ICD. How do you see the ICD playing a more influential role in bridging the financial gap for SMEs and startups across OIC member countries now, especially in the context of cross-border trade and investment?
Well, I think for ICD, as was highlighted, His Excellency the President mentioned that since inception we did almost 7.5 billion of financing. Now this range from direct finance, but more importantly, a majority of it is through our line of finance. And the line of finance, as I said earlier, goes directly to support the SMEs in different countries. Additional work we have been doing is on the advisory. And I think on the advisory, we have done quite good work on behalf of IDB Group in fragile countries. For example, Yemen. We have a program in Yemen that has really support the SMEs. When you have a conflict of fragility, the most affected is not the big corporation, but rather the smaller companies. Additionally, within the advisory, we have been able to support the conversion of conventional banks to Islamic banks, either fully or through establishing an Islamic window. One of the good examples we are proud of as ICD is in the Maldives, where we support the establishment is the Maldives Islamic Bank. It's one of our key projects. But across our membership, we have almost supported more than conversion of 50 banks to be either fully Islamic banks or having an Islamic window. Now, Islamic finance modes of finance for Islamic banks goes to the real economy, either through murabaha or musharaka, all those forms we know. And through this, we definitely make sure we contribute to the real economy. It's not just, a corporate finance that is go for normal, running of business, but goes for a specific project that will have an impact on the ground. And we do quite well on annual basis, document this through our development effectiveness report. And you will see a copy today distributed during these meetings, which show the success we have in supporting the SMEs in different regions and different countries, from the Central Asia to Sub-Saharan Africa to Middle East and to part of the Europe, especially in Turkey. So we'll continue to do so, and we feel this is the core mandate when ICD was established, is to support the real business in our membership.
And of course, we do realize the importance of supporting small businesses and SMEs and startups. This is indeed very, very pivotal. نروح ليك دكتور عمر ركاش. نتكلموا الآن على الإصلاحات التي قامت بها.
Professor Omar Rakash, we will talk about what Algeria has done in order to have more attractiveness for regional and international investments. As I said earlier, the reforms addressed, first of all, having a legal and a legislative environment that is stable and secure. Add to it the simplifying the procedures because the capital does not have the courage. Before they look for opportunities, they look for security, for stability of the legal framework, and for simple procedures, simplified procedures without red tape and with transparency and digitalization. These are the basis of the reforms led by Algeria in order to move to another level, which is to capitalize on the potential and the capacities of our country. As you know, the geographic situation is important. It facilitates to the big companies the integration in the value chain, and you have also the market of more than 46 million, and also a gate for trade to Africa and to Europe. Algeria, through this strategic position, can be a bridge to allow the big companies in order to integrate in the global value chain. So this is the first point. Second point is opportunities and capabilities of the different sectors to which the state has attached a paramount importance. So you have a virgin environment with promising sectors, in particular agriculture. We cannot talk in details for the sake of time to talk about the details of investment opportunities, but you know what Algeria enjoys in terms of vast areas, especially in the Sahara. We have more than 1 million hectares with important water resources. We launched strategic projects, big projects in with wheat in order to achieve food security and also the transformative agri-food. We have also big opportunities in energies, renewable energies. We know that our country is among the states that offer a comparative advantage and is attracting many big companies who want to invest in Algeria. Now, once we have the good or positive circumstances, we have energy price and all the production factors, including the manpower. Our universities graduate more than 250,000 graduates every year with quality training in all over the country. Add to it the vocational training centers with thousands of graduates, which allows these investments to find qualified manpower in areas that they want. Another important point the state is working on is to provide infrastructure, because without infrastructure you cannot talk about investment. Infrastructure, the current ones, plus a program launched by the state in order to increase the performance and the capacity of the existing infrastructure. In addition to the natural resources, the country wants to capitalize on. So all this equation is there in order to have the trust and confidence of the local and foreign investors. We hail the reforms of Algeria and your agency. These reforms are very important and strategic in order to attract investment.
Arshahin, now given the persistent barriers to intra-OIC investment, such as, for example, fragmented regulations and lack of cross-border coordination, can you talk to me a little bit about the specific role that investment promotion agencies can play in facilitating regulatory harmonization and also promoting investment flows across the OIC member countries?
Thank you. IPAs were established to overcome these barriers, in fact. They were created to support the private sector in order to understand their expectations. As Mr. Rekashe mentioned very well, once the investors would like to step in any country, much differently than the trade, they will have to be investing next 30 years of the country. In trade, you just buy or sell things and it's finished. But when it's about investment, it's like a joint destiny for the investor and the country. Therefore, the decision processes are quite complex. It cannot be done only by the promotion. It requires facilitation, it requires advocacy, it requires aftercare. And all these hats are being wear by the IPAs, right? I mean, promotion should also be complementary to the facilitation, and it should reflect the reality in the country. Regulatory authorities may not understand the expectations, with no offense to none of the regulatory authorities, but IPAs can be playing the role in between the private sector and the regulatory authorities to tell them what they speak about. Because, as we were recently speaking, one of my colleagues, the signals are quite different at the government side, state side, and at the investor side. So these signals should be matching at some point, right? Therefore, I see them as transcribers in between the two sessions. While providing the advocacy services, I think this is the key. They would like to understand, while supporting one investor, actually they are supporting the entire ecosystem of the investment. It's not just solving their taxation issue. While you just fix one matter regarding regulatory authorities, then it's going to help the entire country to become a better place to invest. So it's much different than providing the promotion. Promotion is also fine, but let's take facilitation. IPAs, while providing it, they should also understand the expectations of the private sector in order to let them expand, because expansion investments are much higher, brownfield investments much higher than the greenfield investments. Therefore, the investors should feel happy, they should feel confident in the country, they should be able to see the future, consistency should be there, and all these can be provided by IPAs. And not only any investment is being targeted by the investment promotion agencies, but they will have to target climate investments, sustainable investments, investments that create jobs, the investments that help country to export better. So there are a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of the IPAs. In collaboration with our network at WIPA, ISTB is proudly one of them, and THICA is one of them, with whom we've signed an MOU last year, proudly. ISIC is one of them. We are trying to find the ways to support them, to equip them with better skills, and to provide them with the experience sharing opportunities. And not only that, during the World Investment Conference we organized last year in Riyadh, 70% of the participants were investors. So we put IPAs together with the investors in order to create real deals. Just like His Excellency Chairman was mentioning, we are creating platforms to showcase the bankable projects for the investors. So in our era, the competition is quite tough. The FDI are somehow slowing down, and the future does not seem very, very bright. Therefore, the competition is going to be tougher. It requires at one side to be better equipped, on the other hand, better collaboration. So what we do, our role as WIPA and all the other international institutions, is to provide that support that the investment promotion agencies are needing. So it is not going to help only to IPAs. The service that they provide is helpful for the governments, for the investors, so this is a total win-win situation. So this is why WIPA exists, and this is why we are somehow encouraging all the institutions all the private sector bodies as well, and let's say all the stakeholders to join hands also to support not only investment promotion agencies, but our nations in the end of the day by creating jobs, by providing sustainable investments, and by building our joint future.
Well, definitely WIPA is acting as the synergy, holding together everything and making sure all the stakeholders are working together, which is indeed very, very important. Now, if you allow me, Abba, I'd like to go back to you, Engineer Adib Al-A'ma. Could you talk to us a bit about the strategic collaboration between the ITFC, which you preside, and the Islamic Development Bank entities, and also other partner institutions, in contributing to accelerating trade within the OIC region?
Definitely strengthening collaboration, whether with our partners on the ground or, of course, with financial institutions, and, of course, most importantly, working as a group as part of the synergy with our partners here, His Excellency running the bank, of course, and to my right-hand side, as you said and noticed, Khalid wearing two hats, the ISIC hat and the ICD hat. There's a lot that we can offer when we work together. You know, synergy sometimes is an overused word. But the idea that you're offering can be tailored to the needs on the ground, I think is fantastic. Now, His Excellency, in his speech, the President has mentioned one number, which I repeated. 60% of all our trade, all our financing has been allocated to our member countries, trade between our member countries. Another important figure for today's session is that $31 billion to date, $31 billion to date has been allocated to low-income and developing countries, again, our member countries. And this is where it needs to go the most. Some of the areas that I'd like to highlight today is that we have been very active in. One is accelerating regional integration. And I'll give you maybe a couple of examples. One is in West Africa. We have been working with our partners on the ground in order to digitalize the documentation for trade. And, you know, something that sounds very small, and I can say in one sentence, but if you look at the real impact in cutting the transaction cost and the transaction time, and if you think about the downstream impact, you know, the multiplier effect, it's tremendous. My colleagues were telling me yesterday that what used to take, this has been done for 8 countries, by the way, in West Africa. What used to take more than 2 days in clearing the documents now takes less than 2 hours.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, and this is just a sample. Again, the thing is with these barriers, and you know, we were talking about barriers to trade and barriers to investment. The thing is, if you remove some of them, the impact is not additive. You can have exponential impact because one feeds the other. Maybe another example that I'll give is we have a flagship program called the Arab-Africa Trade Bridges Program. And it has been also very active in the African continent. And one thing that we have been working on is harmonizing the standards. This is for pharmaceuticals, for textile products, for leather products. Another thing that we have been doing through this flagship program, let me jog my memory. Yes, we have been running workshops that brings together sellers and buyers. So it's sort of, if you will, a marketplace. And it's incredible how through these small workshops and through these small incremental, and we talked about incremental changes, you can make a big impact. And this is what we do in order to leverage our impact. Another area that is very important to our member countries and to the world at large has been safeguarding the fragile supply chains. In the wake of the 2022 crisis in Ukraine, the supply chains have been really stretched out and sometimes even broken. And this leaves our member countries in fragile situations. So we have been working on that. ISDB group has approved the allocation in 2022 of $10 billion. for this program. And the program is called, again, if you allow me, because we have too many acronyms, and I've been in the job for just 1 month, by the way.
I do understand.
You can congratulate me.
You definitely deserve it.
But it's called the Food Security Response Program.
Okay.
So this is a $10 billion program, and ITFC has contributed by mobilizing the financing with our partners, 4.7 billion. So almost half the program has been earmarked and mobilized by ITFC in order to tackle a very important program. I can go on and on, but this is some of the efforts that we have been doing, again with our partners, both in the bank in the same complex. Okay, our logo, and His Excellency would be proud if he was here. He always talks about one group and one goal. And this is the type of approach that we're taking, but also our partners on the ground have been fantastic.
Well, I'd like to congratulate the ITFC once again for the tremendous work and for the acronym retention. All right, so I'd like to go back now to Dr. Khalid Khalafallah, wearing your hat as ICD acting CEO. The ICD, Dr. Khalafallah, has been a key player in developing innovative financing instruments like local currency financing and sukuk advisory. Could you please share with us how the ICD is leveraging those tools to unlock greater private sector participation?
Well, thank you. I think, and I'll just go back to what Elie Ismail mentioned and Adib. I think the demand is huge. I mean, no multilateral development bank alone will satisfy it. You know, we have to work in a collaborative manner within IDB group and also with other MDBs to satisfy, the demand on different aspects, be it on the financing, on the capacity building, on the investment promotion. Now, when it comes to the innovative financing that ICD do, as I said earlier, we're proud that we had our advisory service, notably on the sukuk, and we help member countries to arrange for sukuk issuance. We have been doing this quite well. Very good examples. We have managed to help some countries which alone they don't have access to the international market. Maybe the expertise also is not there to have, sukuk issuance. I mean, one of the latest one we have done was in Maldives. On the innovative side, quite good number of our member countries, they require local currency financing. That makes it easier. Currency fluctuation and other issues might be on their mind. In Kazakhstan, for example, we have been also supporting the Kazakhstan. Help, mobilizing the local currency, because in some countries, liquidity is available. Key funding requirements such as health or education. So we have done quite good examples in this area. We'll continue to do. And we work not only as funding, that's what we can do. Now, we do so request a demand for local currency, specific transaction, and I think the best way to do it is to do through sukuk arrangement. The sukuk will be tied for a specific project. It can be a smaller size where the funding can be done either public or even private placement. So we do quite see a demand, and we'll continue to support this demand.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid. And indeed, got a great collaboration between both of you. نعود ليك دكتور.
Let's go back to you, Dr. Omar Rakash. Can you explain to us the strengths of the investment policy, the potential Algeria has, and the investment agency plan to showcase Algeria as an investment destination, and what are the mechanisms the agency relies on to do so? I have talked about the key sectors that the Algerian government is relying on to promote investment, especially or specifically in key sectors: agriculture, renewable energy, hydrocarbons, the transformative industry. All these sectors are trying to bring more investment. The reforms are showing positive results. They have given us more momentum. You all know that Algeria has many investors who are more than willing to invest in it. Some of the indicators I might share with you. We have conducted surveys in 14 European countries. It's within a cooperation program with the European Union. Over 250 companies are attracted to the Algerian market and are willing to invest in Algeria. To give you an example, we held a Chinese Algerian economic forum, and we opened a platform for those who are interested in taking part in the forum. We've had over 90 companies, Chinese companies, who took part in the forum, interested in productive investment, and we're talking about big players, major companies, with a capital of over 500 billion USD. The agency, the investment agency, investment promotion agency, from the moment it started working, has recorded 250 projects, foreign projects, a considerable number of which is direct, is represented in direct investment, which shows that people are are trusting more and more the Algerian market. The agency is the mechanism Algeria uses to provide more clarity. The agency has an important, or plays a key role in doing so. We took part in the WIPA activities, and we're working with Dr. Ismail to promote Algeria as an investment destination, an attractive destination. The economic diplomacy is also another mechanism that we're using to promote Algeria as an investment destination. Tomorrow we will have a presentation, a detailed presentation on the investment system and the opportunities Algeria has to offer. We will provide details on the investment opportunities, and as I mentioned earlier, specifically in sectors, priority sectors, or sectors that are prioritized by the Algerian government. Today we're talking about investments, major investments, with our brothers from Qatar. We're talking about $6.3 billion US dollars, with the Italian partners, $420 billion. We have other investments with Chinese partners and so on and so forth. This is to boost the investment sector in Algeria. When speaking about the private sector, let me tell you that from the moment this agency was established, we have recorded 14,000 projects, 98 of which are investments by the private sector. Now we're witnessing the emergence of key players in the investment field. They've been playing or active on the global market. We're trying to support them to reach a larger scale. And here I see this opportunity. We're running out of time, Doctor, please. So since we're speaking about finance, Algeria is known to be one of the countries that pay their membership fees regularly in every financial institution. However, we do not benefit from this. We're trying to work with partners to take benefit of our active participation globally through different mechanisms, by accompanying, by providing technical assistance and support to reduce the risks, the investment risks, while looking for new ways that allow these organizations or institutions to support emerging startups. Thank you, Doctor. We have no doubt that the agency will work on improving the investment environment.
Khalid Khalafallah, quickly from your perspective, Dr. Khalid, how can the ISEC contribute to harmonizing credit and regulatory frameworks across OIC member states to enable smoother and more attractive environment for trade and investment?
Well, I think for ISEC, we don't only do the insurance, comparable to ICD, we do the financing, but we also do capacity building. I think Adib earlier mentioned the Arab Trade Bridges program, which we also contribute and support. But within ISEC, we also support, and mentioned earlier, the importance of credit information. We had an OIC mandate to support the business intelligence program. We call it OBIC for abbreviation. And we have done so far 3 capacity building programs. Now, these programs are for the Export Credit Agency of our membership, for Exim banks. And it's basically a platform, that is our aim in the future, to have a platform where there's a standard sort of harmonization of credit information for different sectors, be it in the manufacturing, be it in the real economy, in the retail, so that we have that standards, which makes the flow and the change of information within the OIC members quite easy. This is one program we do. Of course, we work with other programs within the IDB group and also the one by ITFC. More importantly, ISEC and the Arab Cooperation for the Investment Insurance, known as Daman, based in Kuwait. In 2009, we established what we call Aman Union. And the Aman Union is a platform for the ACAs and Exim banks of our membership. We meet on a regular basis. In fact, we were honored last December to have our meeting here hosted by KAJAX in Algeria, where all the members participate. We have most of the members also attending the annual meeting. This platform is also help us to share credit information, share deals for joint collaboration. I think it's a good platform that support the working and coordinating as one OIC organ and members. We had also partners who came as observers from the global insurance industry, And that way we had the transfer of knowledge and know-how and the expertise on the best practice in the market. So this is one aspect we do as ISEC to facilitate those areas.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid. And maybe my last question, I mean, we did not feel the time passing, unfortunately, but my last question goes to you, Mr. Ismail Al-Shahin. Could you talk to us a little bit about how can IPAs in OIC countries better collaborate through platforms like WIPI to identify and promote bankable investment opportunities, especially in underrepresented sectors such as digital infrastructure, agribusiness, and also green energy?
Thank you very much. How they can cooperate better? First of all, they should be becoming a WIPA member.
Indeed.
No, I'm just kidding. Of course, we've never promoted WIPA membership. Currently, WIPA has more than 100 countries as WIPA members, and we are celebrating our 30th anniversary this year, proudly. But what we rather promote is the services that WIPA is providing to its members, and to non-members also, in a way, because we do help investment promotion agencies to experience share. Like, in the time while the world is struggling economically, geopolitically, every experience requires more attention, and every experience is becoming more precious. Therefore, WIPA provides this platform for its members and for the IPAs to share their experiences. In addition to that, they can also meet with the investors and to share their bankable projects. What does that mean? The bankable project is a project that investors can easily step in. Let's try to make it as easy as possible. Excellencies would much better explain that one than me, but there are many investors that have money sitting on cash, but they can not know where to invest exactly. So these guys, they do need, I'm sure there are some of them among us, they do require investable projects that speak mathematically.
Yeah.
So how much should I invest and how much return would I get in how many years? As easy as that. But it's not easy to create that. It requires a specific expertise. Not all the IPAs may have that, but they can collaborate with other institutions to create that as well. Finance, creating these bankable projects has been one of the key areas that WIPA has been focusing as well. We are further encouraging our IPAs the place where and every year WIPA organizes or personally being present at more than 50 events where investment promotion and foreign direct investments are spoken. WIPA organized since 29 years the World Investment Conference, which was organized last year in Riyadh with in total 2,000 times 3, 6,000 participants in Riyadh, where we discussed the current trends on FDI and foreign direct investments in order to not only make our members happy, but we turn our faces to the private sector. This is why I find this platform very important and crucial, to turn our face to them and tell them that, guys, we speak opportunities. IPAs mean opportunities. So just take the benefit of that. In case you have money, these guys, they may have bankable projects that you can tap in. And they represent their governments. They are trustworthy. They just do speak business. So total win-win for all.
What a great way to end this.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mr. Ismail Al-Shahin. Now, I think, ladies and gentlemen, today's discussion made it clear. Intra-OIC trade and investment holds great potential, but unlocking it requires collaboration, targeted reforms, and bold action. Ladies and gentlemen, let's carry the momentum from this session forward, translating it into ideas, action, and partnership. I'd like to thank my esteemed panelists. Please, a big round of applause for my panelists. Thank you. If you would like to join me on stage to take a photo together. Could all the photographs هل ممكن المصورين يعني يجوا
We would like to ask the photographers to take a picture of the panelists, please. Photographers, please, where are you hiding?
For all the panelists for this very productive session. CU session, boosting intra-OIC trade and investment, overcoming barriers. Thank you so much.
Another one? Okay, one last one. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Maybe we'll go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
stay with us, please. We welcome you now to the 2025 IDB Group Private Sector Forum PSF Award Ceremony. We are gathered here, ladies and gentlemen, to celebrate excellence, innovation, and impact. We will award organizations and individuals whose remarkable contribution are advancing the future of Sharia-compliant finance and development across our member countries. The PSF 2025 awards represent a core initiative of the IDB Group and created to recognize pioneering achievements and transformative projects that demonstrate the effectiveness of ethical finance in fostering inclusive and sustainable growth. This year's award includes 6 prestigious categories proudly supported by 3 key IDB Group entities. The Islamic Corporation for the Insurance of Investment and Export Credit, ISEC, the Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector, ICD, the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC. Ladies and gentlemen, each nomination was seriously reviewed by an esteemed panel of judges selected for their extensive industry knowledge and commitment to excellence. Before we begin the awards presentation, I am honored to invite Dr. Khalid Khalafallah to join us on the stage, Chief Executive Officer of the Islamic Corporation for the Insurance of Investment and Export Credit, ISEC, to present the ISEC Award Ceremony. Please take your seat, please, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to start this ceremony. Thank you, Mr. Khalid Khalafallah, to join us. And we ask you again, ladies and gentlemen, to have a seat, please. We are going to start this ceremony. And we begin with the first award, the Best Credit Insurance Deal of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, please. من فضلكم سيدات والسادة.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, please remain seated, join your seats so that we can move forward with the proceedings of this forum. Please be seated.
Seated, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, as I said, It's a great pleasure to announce the winner of the first award of the IDB Group Private Sector Forum PSF Award Ceremony. The first is the Best Trade Credit Insurance Deal of the Year. This award is a celebration of the most outstanding export credit agency institution of 2024-2025, based on their impactful initiative and contribution in furthering export credit. And the winner is, we're going to discover the winner on this screen of the Best Credit Insurance Deal of the Year. We are going to discover the winner together with Dr. Khaled Khalafallah. The winner is Mopan Securities PLC, and we invite a representative of Mopan Securities PLC to join us on the stage to have this award from Mr. Khaled Khalafallah, Chief Executive Officer of the Islamic Corporation for the Insurance of Investment and Export Credit, ISEC. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations for this award, Best Trade Credit Insurance Deal of the Year. Congratulations. And the second ISEC Awards is Best Foreign Investment Insurance Deal of the Year, which honors the most pioneering and progressive investment insurance development initiative 2024-2025 by any financial institution. And the winner is, we're going to discover the name of the winner on the screen with Dr. Khaled Khalafallah. So the winner is Deutsche Bank, and we invite the representative of Deutsche Bank to join us on the stage to receive the award from Dr. Khaled Khalafallah, Chief Executive Officer of the Islamic Corporation for the Insurance of Investment and Export Credit. Deutsche Bank Best Foreign Investment Insurance Deal of the Year. I would like to thank you, Dr. Khaled Khalafallah, CEO of ISEC, for joining us, and I would like to ask you to stay with us as Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector, ICD. So the first category of ICD Award is the Most Impactful Islamic Finance Institution of the Year Award, which honor one of the ICD's client for its significant support to small and medium enterprises and meaningful Islamic finance contribution for local economy for the year 2024-2025. And the winner is on the screen. We discover the winner with Khaled Khalafallah as Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Islamic Corporation for the Development and the Private Sector. The winner is Al Baraka Egypt, Al Baraka Bank Egypt. Congratulations to Al Baraka Bank Egypt, and we invite a representative from Al Baraka Bank Egypt to join us on the stage to receive the award from Dr. Khaled Khalafallah as Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Islamic Corporation for the Development and the Private Sector. Congratulations to Al Baraka Bank Egypt for the Most Impactful Islamic Finance Institution of the Year Award 2024-2025. Congratulations. Now we're moving to the second category of ICD Award, the Most Impactful ICD Investee Company of the Year Award, which recognizes the most outstanding ICD investee company in terms of delivering impact to society and industry. And the winner is the winner of this category award, the Most Impactful ICD Investee Company of the Year, is Amana Bank, and we have a representative right here to receive the award from Khaled Khalafallah as Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Islamic Corporation for the Development and the Private Sector, ICD. ICD Award, the Most Impactful ICD Investee Company of the Year, Amana Bank. I would like to thank you, Khalid Khalafallah, as acting CEO of ICD, for joining us and presenting the award of the winners of the ICD. And now I would like to invite Engineer Adib Al-A'ma, Chief Executive Officer of the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC, to stand on the stage and to present the ITFC awards. Thank you so much, Mr. Adib Al-A'ma, to join us on the stage. We're moving to the first category, if you allow me, of the ITFC award, ITFC Trade Finance Deal of the Year, which recognizes a firm with the most significant and impactful contribution to trade and development for the year 2024-2025. And the winner is, we would like to congratulate GSCB, Uzbek Industrial and Construction Bank, and that I would like to invite their representative to come on the stage and to receive the award from Engineer Adib Al-A'ma, Chief Executive Officer of the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC. Congratulations for this award. ITFC Trade Finance Deal of the Year 2024-2025, which goes to GSCB, Uzbek Industrial and Construction Bank. Congratulations again. Now we are moving to the second category of ITFC award, ITFC Trade Development Initiative for the year, which recognizes a firm with the most significant and impactful contribution to trade development initiative for the year 2024-2025. The winner is, we would like to congratulate African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, and we welcome Executive Vice President to come on the stage to receive the award. The Executive Vice President, to come on the stage and to receive the award from Afrexim Bank. Congratulations, Afrexim Bank. And thank you so much, Engineer Adib Al-A'ma, Chief Executive Officer of the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC. Thank you so much and congratulations for all the winners. Thank you so much for staying with us. نشكر كل الحضور.
We would like to thank all participants who have stayed with us until the end. We meet tomorrow to resume